Okay, and we are live. Yes, it is. Here we are. Hello, everybody. This is Gabriel from ODE Mastery, Facebook community of teachers that collaborate with teachers so that we can all ascend the value ladder. And today we're having an interview with Thomas Heng. Thomas Heng is a lead facilitator with Multipreneur International. He's from Singapore. And his mission is to inspire 100 million lives to achieve sustained happiness and success through great relationships by being compassionate, joyful, and loving. Now, he has gained much experience in conversing and collaborating with directors, managers, and line employees across various industries and contexts. Currently, Thomas adds value to individuals and aspiring entrepreneurs and talents through books, events, and workshops. This includes his own personal workshop, seminars, and talks based on 8 aspects of life: effectiveness, wisdom, leadership, purpose, authenticity, joyful living, wealth, and legacy. Thomas is an amazing man, and he facilitates monthly breathing sessions as well that are open to all. And because of the COVID-19, he does this online. Thomas has also published since 2013 his first book, What's Life If I Don't Live It? 52 Quotations for Conscious Living, a collection of original quotations that invites readers to challenge their existing paradigm of life. So everybody, like say hello and welcome, Thomas, to ODE Mastery. Thomas,
Thank
welcome
you.
to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Gabriel, for that wonderful, excellent introduction. Wow, excellently delivered. I love this. Really love how you share it. Yes, thank you.
I got to tell you, we're happy to have you here. I'm sure that my community of educators will benefit from listening to you. You're an amazing man in a lot of ways, and you have a lot to contribute. So if anybody, as you're watching, if you have any questions, and you want to have them answered by Thomas by the end of the show, please feel free to drop them, and we'll answer those questions. And anybody else, hashtag live, hashtag replay, and let us know where you're watching from. Okay. So Thomas, welcome. And is there anything you want to say before we start a question session here?
Oh, wow. Well, first up, really, Gabriel, really thank you so much for inviting me to your community to share. I really have a soft spot for educators. I've learned so much from mentors and even teachers, even through grade school and high school. And well, this is just one way of that I can share what I've gained so far in life, and just to share it with everyone out there. I really respect all the educators out there, because I'm helping the next generation. It's really no mean feat, right? And
Right.
each time it's really a generational change. And we were talking backstage. We're talking about the start of the internet. From dial-up modem, and where people were like, "What's internet? It's something that I can really do without. I can just read a book or just watch TV or something like that." But now you fast forward, what's it like, maybe 30, 20, almost 20, 28 years or so, thereabout.
30 plus, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's the other way. It's like now we can't do without the internet. Everyone's like online on mobile, and previously, I think those years ago it was like Ericsson phone or Motorola was like huge phone that you could actually hit someone with, to defend yourself or something like that, right? But now it's totally different. Things have gotten so much smaller, and so much more powerful, smarter, and we've got to help people to navigate those kind of huge changes, and that's really one of the biggest things that I can say that any educator we do need to help the next generation overcome, because it's and apparently from what we've seen, things are only going to change faster.
And they continue to change faster, and in relation to today's, topic, which is like building a tribe, which is something that you're very familiar with. The internet has done that. It has bridged the gap from the brick and mortar 20th century mentality to the 21st century, where people are more unified because of this. People have connected more, even through Facebook, as an example. People who have a friends list and they say, I have 5,000 friends. I mean, granted, we don't know all of them, but because of the internet, this communal thing that we have experienced, is a testament to how the internet has changed lives and has caused people to really want to become more unified, in a positive way, of course. Let's not talk about the negatives here, but building a tribe is something that you are very familiar with, because you're impacting an amazing number of people, 100 million. So I wanted to ask you, let me ask you this. Anyone who knows you would consider you a leader in your own unique way. However, for many who have yet to consider themselves as leadership material, how do you get them to make that leap from follower to leader?
This is an excellent question, Gabriel. So what I do is I'll just share a little bit about where I come from. Well, okay, this is amazing because I never really planned to share this actually, but I will. My dad was like big in the banking industry, so he was like the mover and shaker there. And I never really went in banking because I think I was like 10, and I stepped into his office, and I was like, huge office, and I was like thinking, oh man, he's like delegating this and doing this, telling people do this, and I'm like, okay, clearly I've got big shoes to fill. And I'm like, okay, so if I'm gonna put myself in a bank now, and I was like 10ish, and I'm like, so people are gonna say, this is like his dad's son, right? And I'm like, I don't know if I want to put myself through that, right? So right then I was like, no, I'm not sure if I want to be a banker in banking, but I know he loves what he does. So that's one of the things that I discovered, is that whatever that I'm doing, if I'm successful, if I got to be successful in what I'm doing, first, number one thing, I got to love what I do. Yeah. Right? Got to love what I do, right? Because if we're educated, we have to love what we do, because it's a tough thing, right? Just being with the kids, and if it's something that we don't, okay, let's put it another way, right? We've seen, like, if I'm teaching, and I and my conversation with myself about kids is like, I don't know how to relate to that. Then my question would be on purpose, would be like, so why are you there?
Logical question.
Yeah, and so that's the same thing when it comes to being a leader and authority and things like that. How do we become a leader as educator? The number one thing, right, is that you're a leader in your field, because every day we've got to be that. Every day we've got to be that for our kids. We've got to provide that structure. We've got to know what's happening. We've got to know what's going on, how they're feeling, how they're sensing it. It's all part of it. I think in US you go through what 7 years of teacher school.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, which is tough. I mean,
yeah,
which is tough. I think it's like the longest that I've seen in lots of in compared to other countries, because 7 years is no joke, right? It's really amazing, and so that's the one thing that to really acknowledge where you've come from, and all the journey that you've been. Because the other thing that I've noticed is that in terms of experience, we're definitely the leader in our own experience. Sure. Whatever that is. So what I've seen, let's say, for example, right, if I'm looking, I don't know. Okay, let's say we're talking about driving or something, right? So driving, people think it's like really standard, but if we really observe, right, no two people drive exactly same way. And it's like for some reason, and then of course we know that there's some who like actually coming with that. I was in Australia. This was amazing. Just a little bit. I think the closest that people come to really similar is Australia. When I was in Sydney for a year, what I noticed blew my mind, because in Singapore, how we drive is like, it's almost like every day is almost like a day in Formula One. Yeah, so it's Formula One where, and the way I drive, I'm the one that gets lapped. I'm the one that gets lapped. It's like, what's this guy doing? But in Australia, it's different. What they do is they really toe the line. 80 means 80. 70, right. Everyone slows down. In 70, it's just amazing. So and that's why each experience is unique. So if we're aware what are the intricacies of the particular thing that we do, right? So in internet or in internet marketing, we call this niching down. If we're very clear where our niche is, we get to see insights that no one else can see, or we get to appreciate differences that no one else can appreciate. And in terms of educational field, there's so many fields that you can niche on.
Yeah.
Right. You resonate. You can resonate K to 10. You can resonate, K to 4 or something like that. Grade 6 to or 12 or something like that. You can do adult. You can do ESL, or second language, or something like that. And so it's really a huge field. Or you could do like vocational training.
You can still niche it down from there as well. As you see, the way I did it was, I put a magnifying glass to what was my niche, simply because ESL English, which is what I do, that's broad in so many ways, So I mean, I've niched it down to the teacher, or the my dream audience is the online educator, trying to make that leap from brick and mortar to the online arena, the digital space, but still having to understand how to make that leap of faith from being a follower to a leader as well. Because when we make a decision on that niche, we're making a decision to be a leader, an authority in that particular subject matter, and as an English teacher, you can niche it down to grammar, pronunciation, linguistics, Germanic expressions, there's just so many ways that you can go. And the fascinating thing is that there is an audience for those niches.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go big. You can put a magnifying glass to what your passion is, and you will find an audience that wants to be taught at that level with such precision that we become a leader in that subject.
Absolutely. And bringing back to that, maybe I'll just share where my niche was. I was excited about internet marketing, right? This was years and years ago. And what happened was, and it's true about being leader to follower or follower to leader, I can share really clearly, it wasn't instant to leader for me, far from it, right? Because I started with internet, and then going to all the seminars, and in a way, yes, following what everyone else was doing. And it's like, okay, I'm going to this seminar. You want to check it out? It's like, yeah, okay, let's check it out. And then I'll be sitting there just like everyone else, and just, and then hearing this wonderful presentation, and boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then being a follower, I was thinking, okay, what's next? I'm not so sure what's next, right? And then they kind of share like this. But in my mind, I was like, I was still at what's next, because I was like thinking, can I actually do this? Right. Or who's going to guide me through this, right? And he was like, okay, I'll guide you through it. I said, okay, I take your word for it. And then next moment, he's gone done something else or something. And I'm left with this software package, for example. And I'm, okay, so what do I do with this again? Can anyone help me? So back in the day, internet marketing wasn't as clear and transparent and clean cut as it is now. Now it seems like, for us who are new to this, it seems bewildering, or even more so. But the good thing about things like Facebook and being in good groups and tribes like what you have, Gabriel, as well, is that we get to resonate with people that really are high integrity and trustworthy and things like that, right? Yeah. So back to where I was like, starting like following the crowd, doing everything, and then eventually this year, really pretty much this year, I managed to drill it down late last year, this year, to really drill down and focus. And I realized that with all the things I've been doing, I actually been with the solopreneur community for years.
Sure.
And the thing is, I never realized it. I never realized that I could make a difference online to the solopreneur, to precisely what we're doing. What we do is we're helping the solopreneur to earn their online profit from their offline business, because they've been doing offline, and then particularly with this year, with all the challenges here, they're like, well, my offline income is gone. What do I do? Well, you could go online. You say, what? Yeah, you can do it. How? It's like, yeah. And I really surprised myself, because part of it is also taking a leap of faith. I'm not new to taking leap of faith, because I've done that. But the thing is that now with clarity, right, we're able to really transit from being a follower to really leader, because we've got really great mentor. That's the other thing that really helped me a lot. Having great mentor, right? Sure. It really who's really done what we're doing. Let's say, for example, we're looking to earn 5 figures of. Okay, well, hang on. Let's say I want to earn my first dollar online, right? Exactly. You can find someone who make like $100 or $1,000 to help. But if you know someone who earn like maybe 5 figures, 6 figure, right, and they're still going on that route, they're going for 7, 8, something like that. Well, that they're definitely committed to their journey.
Sure.
Right, and that gives the comfort and the assurance that at least during this 12 or whatever, 12 month, 18 month, 24 month, they're gonna be with you every step, because their success is your success, right? Exactly. Or your success is their success, that kind of thing. Yeah. So that's a leader. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And that is a leader, in itself, a mentor. Like you said, it's not the how, it's the who. Who can help me get there? Because I'm committed to wanting to do it, but I need now the help. Who? My mentor.
Absolutely.
As you know, Thomas, I'm fascinated with helping teachers, transition online as digital marketers, and start their own Facebook communities as leaders as well. What's the real story that people are genuinely going to want to tell other people?
Okay, so for this, I reflect on what I've done before, and I think the best way to come across authentic, right, is not really to think about how do I be authentic, because well, after going through countless iterations, just be authentic, right? So for example, if let's say I'm starting out on my journey, let's say I haven't made my first dollar online, so what I could do is I could create a series of posts to say that, hey, I'm discovering this. I'm new to this. I'm discovering this, but I'd like to share this with people out there, because I like to see who would resonate with me, right? And eventually, once you share that enough, you get a lot of feedback, right? And sometimes it could be that some of the feedback could be maybe 1 like or something. But okay, that's feedback, right? And then eventually, when it done over time consistently, you get more and more and more, and then you get people noticing you, and then it's interesting. We mentioned about the 5,000 Facebook friends. I haven't got there yet. And one of the main reason is this. I got lots of people adding me, but it's like, I don't know if I just want to just simply add, because at the same time, I also want to be sure that these are people that I really resonate with. I used to be really eager about just randomly adding. I remember doing that years ago. And to be honest, that really didn't do much for me, actually.
Yeah. Quality over quantity.
Absolutely. You got to resonate with the people that matter are the ones that matter really. It's quality. Yeah. People that count are the ones that matter. Yeah.
Earlier this morning, as I was prepping between classes, I received a chime from Facebook, and it was somebody saying, "I want to be on your friends list."
Okay.
So I always vet people. I look at their, their profile first. I make that decision too, because that's important to me. I don't want just anybody on my friends list. I want people that I'm going to resonate with, and that want to collaborate, not compete with each other.
Absolutely.
So this gentleman sends me a voice audio, an audio, telling me, "Hi, my name is such and such. I'm from the UK. This is what I do. Nice to meet you," and such. And before I listened to the audio, the first thought that I came to my mind was, this guy's going to try to sell me on audio instead of, being genuine, being authentic about why he wants to be here or whatever. Okay. And it was so cool just to listen that he said, "Look, my name is such and such. I saw your profile. I think you're pretty cool. You have a nice mission. I'd like to get to know you and know more about what you do. This is what I do." And I was like, okay, that was actually very nice of him. So I responded back in kind. And I found myself going back and forth for like 7-8 minutes in audios with the man. And at the end, I said to him, "You know what? You are more than welcome in my community." Because he wasn't trying to sell me anything. He was actually trying to be very genuine about what I do, and he wants to collaborate. And I think that's very important, because I tell that to a lot of teachers. Leave the competitive mentality behind, because this is part of the mindset. You want to be authentic. You want people to like you for who you are, what you can do for them, not for what they can do for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about being open. I really like that as well. When we receive, actually, it's true. Some of my best collaborators just came purely from me being open. Just being open to the experience. And this one's slightly different. This one was offline, face-to-face, because I knew this person about maybe 2 years ago. She's a nutritionist. And I think it's more than 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And then I said, okay, and usually what I do is, let's say this person I meet at a physical event. So I run events for business owners, I hold events on various topics. I'll share the screen later. But basically, these are a series of events that bring business people together, and so that they can network in a very collaborative way. Of course, being the host, being the host, of course, I observe the good ones, the nice ones, and those other ones. But the nice ones, I notice, okay, who are the ones that look pretty cool, that kind of thing. And she and I, we were okay. So we talked, and then we engaged further, via we use WhatsApp quite a lot here in Singapore. So we do that, and then I said okay. So this is how she is, and then she was saying like, okay, and then I can't remember who initiated, but the idea was just to say, okay, let's go host a workshop. Let's host a workshop, half-a-day workshop, a particular topic, and see how you go. And you know what? Just seeing her in action, just that first workshop, I knew straight away that she knew her stuff. She wasn't like fudging or anything. She knew exactly what her stuff was. She knew, and the best thing that I like about her name is Catherine. She's absolutely amazing. She could break things down, nutritional, terms, break things down so easily that even I could understand.
Awesome.
So and I was like, okay, this is very rare, because going through, like, I first started events like 7 years ago. So, and I'm like, I don't often see people do that, because very often we get these technical people who do jargon here, jargon there. I'm like, yeah, I know you know your stuff, but my concern was, can you bring it across, right?
Right. Are you personable enough to bridge the gap?
Yeah, and to be able to put it down to the layperson term, and it's fine to go layperson, because not everyone's familiar with terms like pedagogy or something like that. And not everyone's into that.
That word is too big for teachers, I mean, We should just say learn English.
Yeah, exactly right, and then same thing with the legal people or contract. I came across contract specialists. His name is Danny. He's really cool. I came across lawyers and I'm like, oh no, not that again, because so because the one thing I don't want to keep saying is like, okay, so what does that mean again? What does that mean in English? What does that mean?
Too much jargon, not enough good open conversation. Yeah, let's keep it simple so everybody can understand what's going on. And that's value. When you bring that kind of value into a collaborative setting, you actually earn more people's trust. They actually want to hear what you have to say, because you're not confusing their brain. It makes sense. And if you keep it simple, people will actually adhere to that, and they want to collaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the thing, right? Very often, what people are looking for is, yes, I want to know you, and then it's like, okay, and then the second part is, now I want to feel that you get me. I want to feel that you get me, that you hear me, right? That you know what I'm feeling, or that kind of thing. So that's probably the two main key to being from being a follower, and then from there to get into a tribe that
very
you can
cool
resonate with.
So Travis, you seem very driven, okay, to affect change, and you want to affect change in 100 million people, both as an individual, at an individual level, and collectively with companies. Okay. Where do you get this drive? Where is this coming from?
Well, this is where it's like a. Okay, well, I'm so glad that you asked this, because not many people ask this of me, actually, and I can share. Even right now, I've done this before, so I can share. If you see me, this was 1999, so this is like maybe 20 years ago. 20 years ago, how I was and how you see me now, it's literally 180-degree different.
Me too.
Yeah. Really? Fantastic. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Because I wasn't like out there and open and loving and all of that. I was really very, very much inward, and very much having not so many. Actually, I only had one person that I was consistently in contact with, and that was my girlfriend, but she was not my friend. So being in that for about 2.5 years, it does things, and it set me down on a mental spiral, and so much so that I mean, especially here with guys, right? And you know how it goes with guys. We seldom express how we feel, and we were not really taught how to express how we feel. So I kept a lot of this stuff inside, and I was in a very good place. And one of my questions, and you mentioned my book, and one of the things that I was asking was, what was the meaning of life? What was the purpose of my life specifically? And I was asking it in a not a very empowering way. I was saying, basically, if there was a reason for me not to be on this earth, if it's strong enough, I'll just take it and do that. And finally, there was an answer, and the answer came in the form of the title of this book, which was "What's Life If I Don't Live It?"
Right.
And there's two keywords there. One was on I, which was taking personal responsibility for everything that I do and feel and say. And it took me a really, 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 really long time to really ingrain that and practice that. But I feel that number one, as guys and things like that, we don't talk about mental health often enough. Although now we're doing it more and more. I wish that we could do like whole
a lot more awareness of that nowadays. Yeah.
and then it's also about really taking personal responsibility for whatever that we're doing, because it's so easy to go into a place of blame and or even self-blame, right? Because that was how it was for me. I kind of like said, okay, like anything that went on in the world, it's like kind of my fault and that kind of thing, and it's not really a healthy way to live, right? And especially for the educator, we do see it sometimes and observe it, but often we don't see and notice that how we're feeling, because we're so much into observing what happens to others, and it's so tempting to just not want to check in with how we feel at that moment and just kind of numb that, and before we know it, things have built up. So that's one of the things that that really drives me, because I at that time I knew that I was basically having two choices in my mind before there was a third thought. A third thought. I only had two thoughts in my mind, and both were not good thoughts. And then there was a third thought that says, go get help, right? And during that state, one of the things that I can share as well, there are a lot of people say, make a phone call, something like that. But very often, when I'm in that position, the phone call never comes across as an option. But the one thing that I had was a friend whom I could call and basically go through my thought pattern. At my worst case, it was like 2 hour with the same thought pattern every day. It's like, God bless my friend.
That hits home in a lot of ways for me too, and
Yeah.
I really, I feel exactly what you're saying, and I identify with that in a tremendous way. Especially now, because we just spoke about how the internet, right, has brought people more together and unified them, right? But at the same level, it has also distanced people, and because of trust issues, we may know each other, but we don't know each other, and that has created a dark sense of humanity, in this digital era. Yeah. And a lot of people suffer in silence, even online, even as they're speaking with each other, they're not trusting enough to be vulnerable, to share something as intimate or as personal like you're sharing right now. And I thank you for that. And I see that, like I sit on my, let's say, top of the hill, looking at the teacher community because I understand their pain points, not because I read about them, but because I've also lived them, and I'll show you an example. I have a list here. Teacher pain points, and my list is long because, when we're done today, for example, today I'm going to go live again to talk to the community, and it's going to be based on that, about the teacher pain points.
Yeah.
And I understand that. And people need to be able to have somebody to communicate with at that trust level so that they can have that option that you didn't have initially until you spoke to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think that's important that you said that, because a lot of people don't know that they have this option. And even if they do have it, they're afraid to want to say, give me some of that. I mean, help me, because to feel vulnerable is something that people don't want to do. They don't want to feel that they're frail, that they're, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
And this help. There's help for everybody, and you're the kind of man that actually helps people thrive and move up in life, and then that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, definitely, because sometimes even my family didn't know. They didn't know till much later. So that's one of the main things. And each time that when I held my first event, I teared up, because I knew that if I made a different choice, I would have missed, meeting so many people, and now even more so, right? Even now with you, Gabriel, and with the community, each day. So now each day becomes more and more meaningful, because each day is an opportunity to experience something new, something fresh. And when I think about it that way, I don't have any other more overpowering emotion than just being grateful for just being here and alive and present
Yeah.
to what we're going through.
Excellent words. Also, gratitude is definitely one of the good things to focus on. A lot of people don't understand how to be gracious. It's almost like it's an awkward feeling, like, oh, thank you. No, it's okay to say thank you. If you feel genuinely that you are thankful for something, you should express it and be gracious enough to say thank you, because I needed that, and a lot of people don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Thomas, your book says, or it's titled, "What's Life If I Don't Live It?" Like you said, 52 quotations for conscious living. And I guess my question is, was this book written, based on the build a tribe philosophy?
I when I first wrote it, well, this booklet was actually 15 years in the making, because because that quote was the first quote that I had, and then over time, those were quotes that helped me, that I came up with, that helped me to move one step further. Oh, let me charge the laptop for a while. Yeah, but it took me one step further and one step further towards being to a better and better space. So that was where, oh, hello. Thanks. Okay.
We have a comment here from Jesse James Swede. He is the CEO of Swede Academy. I did an interview with him earlier this month, and he says, I absolutely agree. I am so happy that mental health is becoming more and more of a talking point.
Hey, Jesse,
he also says that, I love your honesty, Thomas. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the best way to go, to know how I'm feeling, and it's okay not to feel okay. I think it's absolutely amazing thing. So I didn't really do that with a tribe perspective to begin with, but I only when I connected the dots later, that I know that with my other tribe, which we're alluding to, with the mental health, is actually my lifelong tribe, because of what I've gone through, right? And the other tribe that we talked about, if I could share the screen.
Let me give you a screen share here.
Okay.
Let me give you a screen share.
Okay. Okay. Do I do it?
There you go.
Okay. Okay. So I should share screen, should I?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will share. So this was the tribe that I first started with, which is the
there you go.
There, right? It's called Singapore Business Startup. This is a startup that I did. This was an event portal that I did through Meetup.com. So basically, we were connecting business people together to hold different events. I was very surprised that nobody in the world chose start business, because I think in Singapore, a lot of people like to start business, and very often one of the pain point was I started business and then what, and then now what? So they didn't kind of and so it's like, okay, so let's bring all these people together to collaborate in a positive collaborative way that's non-competitional, and when you can see that I'm just sharing this not to just not to impress you, it's just to say, okay, we've got 5,000 people. I started this, I took over this group in about 7 years ago. It was 600 people. Right. It was 600 people on a totally different topic, but all I've done throughout the year was basically to hold event after event after event. So one of the question was like, how do we build a tribe? And for me, there's nothing as practical as hold an event on a consistent basis, right? Hold event on a consistent basis. At my peak, I think I was doing like 40 events per year, which is okay, right? And during this pandemic time, of course, obviously we didn't hold any physical event, but actually we've been doing full out. I think this year's going to be 30 plus offline event easily. And I started in March because the first 2 months we were like wondering, okay, what's happening? So
Right.
I just stopped the share. Yeah. So that's where one of the things about building a tribe, just being consistent. So being authentic is really internally aligning with ourselves, making sure that of course there's going to be days that we're off, and it's fine. Guys, you can always post on Facebook. Okay, I'm having a bit of an off day. I need some support. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Or who else is not feeling, that kind of thing, and that's fine because I see people doing that, and if you're ever tempted to rent, yeah, maybe, but maybe just not every day, but yeah, that kind of. But if you do, just do it. It's okay. It's okay to feel not okay, and it's all right to one of the things that I'm learning as well when it comes to building a tribe. One of the things that I practice, and it does work. I find it is that when we're being in a community, we notice that there are certain practices that we would absolutely not stand for. And we have.
There's a lot of unethical practices we won't stand for.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes being using the power of Facebook and things like that, just call it. Just call it something. Just call it, and you can get that people coming together and say, yeah, actually, this is way off. That kind of people. I don't believe in these people doing this either. And there from that, you can actually build a bit more engagement and people
Sure.
who could come gravitate to you and say, yeah, let's educate let's educate people online in a better holistic way, in an empowering positive way. Yeah. And that's one of the things that do that, to rally people around.
You got to create boundaries. I know and when I go live, and I talk a lot about again, collaboration, not competition. I talk a lot about helping each other ascend, not drag each other down. And I've become comfortable saying, if you do anything unethical in my community, I kick you out, because I don't want that. I don't think that even the people who congregate, the educators that are in my community, deserve to have a bad apple.
Yeah.
It's just not what I want, and I'm not going to build around that idea. So get out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree. One of the follow-up things that I do as part of the tribe building is beside the meetup, usually we do a follow-up, and I place them in WhatsApp group. So all these business people, that they're in a WhatsApp group, and if I've done that before as well. Some people have just like because one of the things is like well, one of the things that I do is like don't spam my members. don't spam my members. Don't send the same post. They send the same post maybe twice or 3 times a day. I'm like, excuse me, it's not that's not what I'm here for. I put it in the description. Don't do that. Just I'm like. So do you read or something? Yes, it's horrible. So I've had to remove people because of that, and it's absolutely fine because as community builder, we do need to stand for the community that we're serving. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Thomas, one last question here.
Yeah.
People are quietly looking for the meaning of their lives. What sound advice can you give to the masses, to my community, to anybody who's listening, to find that inner joy?
All right. What I do every day is that I do a meditation every day. So first thing in the morning, it keeps me grounded. So just what I do is very simple. I just sit comfortable position, take deep breath in, deep breath out, and then just couple of I think I do it about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. Sometimes I go for longer, but if you can spare like 10 minutes, I think it's more than enough to just ground you. Just find a nice quiet place. You can do it with music, without music. I do it without music, and that helps me to just focus in, checking in on how I feel at that moment.
Sure.
Right? And that's one of the things that I do that I do need to do, actually. Right? I find it as an essential thing for me to start the day. There are days where I kind of leave it till later, and usually I would notice within the first hour that that there's something that there's something within me that's welling up, saying, okay, yeah, I should have done my daily thing, that kind of thing. Because sometimes, and especially with educator, with my meditation, I do get people who are engineer, people who are in high accounting, compliance, auditors, lawyers, educators. I do kind of get quite a number of them, and and they enjoy it because it's really helping them to check in and just be with themselves. That's one of the key things. Second, it will be harder sometimes being in the moment, especially I'm still human, right? Sometimes in the moment, emotion get the better of me as well, and I don't get as grounded as I would like to be, but and that's okay, I've been meditating for about, this is 2012, so 8 years now. It's coming to 8 years now. And,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
Well, 10 years now, actually. 2010 I started. It's like 2010. And
Awesome.
that's really been a helpful thing. Yeah. And if you ever have the opportunity to be out in nature, just go do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nature is definitely a classic way of finding some kind of peace.
Yeah.
I talk in terms of the analogy, like people, we're like cars, we're like anything else that needs maintenance, and our brains need maintenance, and often our hearts need maintenance. People need to be able to stop, check themselves at least once a year. It's not just going to the doctor to see if you got high blood pressure or high sugar levels or whatever. But our brain, which is connected to our hearts, at least I believe it that way. That path between heart and brain is necessary to have that maintenance, and correct whatever keeps people from moving forward. We're complacent with our lives. We become accepting of things that are normal, supposedly, without realizing that we're causing damage to ourselves because we don't do maintenance, that necessary change the oil maintenance. Check yourself every 50,000 miles or 50,000 thoughts. In doing so, we are giving ourselves longevity. We are providing ourselves with that inner peace that we're discussing, in quotes, because, inner joy could be anything for anybody.
Exactly.
It has to be a mental checkup. If you're not checking your brain, it's going to be difficult to really achieve the kind of inner peace that people really say they want without doing the hard work. You got to do the hard work, and hard work, meditation, finding the time, be with nature, be with something that you love, but be with yourself at a higher level. And that's a beautiful thing when people choose to do that, know how to do that.
Absolutely. It's coming back to what we were talking about earlier, and that's really about self-care. Self-care is absolutely essential. And I love what you say about what you share about the maintenance analogy. I think that's absolutely great. That's what I do. Like daily maintenance is just checking in, and so much so that sometimes when we practice this over time, people are able to notice. Actually, sometimes let's say I myself, I don't notice, and people come up to me and say, why are you so chill about everything? I'm just like, okay, what do you mean? This guy, he drives me up the wall, but you're just okay. But here's the thing, it's not just about me. Right. Very soon, let's say Gabriel, right? And Gabriel's like, Gabriel, what happened to you? It's like, what do you mean what happened to you? Oh, usually this person comes and you just get annoyed, like the maximum annoyance. And then today the same person does the same thing, and Gabriel's like, okay. So meditation make a difference when the people around you, they notice that your vibration is different.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's ripple outward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they know this. You're right, because they're not on the same frequency. So they're like, whoa, I can't penetrate this man right now because we're not on the same megahertz, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
coming to the same vibe if you want to be able to resonate with the same kind of positive feeling.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still don't understand that, and you learn to do that. It's a choice. You got to want to do it and then learn how to do it consistently and make it part of your life.
Yeah, yeah. I would wish, that even my worst enemy would not do it the hard way, because I went through the hard way and, that kind of thing. But, sometimes the journey is, whatever it is,
Exactly. Well, that's some really good advice, Thomas. I think you're an outstanding individual. I highly endorse you, to support and be the face of 100 million lives so that they can achieve their sustained happiness, like you so eloquently put. And, I think that people should read your book. So if anybody's interested in reading, Tom and Sen's book, it is called What's Life If I Don't Live It? 52 Quotations for Conscious Living. And I think you guys should, get a copy. If you're an online educator, if you're an educator at any level, this is something that'll help you out in a lot of ways as well.
Gabriel, how do I share a link there? How do I share a link with you with this?
The link, I don't have a way for you. You can share it on the screen.
I'll share it with you on a private chat, and then you can just forward on to everyone else.
Yeah.
So
If anybody wants it, you just let me know. That you want this book. Ask me for the link. Thomas will provide it, and of course, on the replay, the same thing. So we'll make sure that you guys get that.
Yeah. Guys, it looks like this, just in case you just wonder.
There you go.
There you go. It's a lovely book. It's a booklet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I read an excerpt of that you sent me. I thought it was really cool, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, here it is. I got it on the private chat.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and I'm going to put that up right now. Let me put that in the banner.
Yeah.
And we'll show it to them. And we'll show it to people. Absolutely. So if anybody wants this book, okay, here's the link right here. It's a bit.ly link. You can't click on it, I don't think.
Yeah.
Just the same. You can write on it or ask me for it, and I will provide that link for you happily. Get this book, support Thomas, support his Building a Tribe philosophy, because it'll do you good. And remember, if you need some maintenance, you got to do the maintenance, okay? So you can have some clarity in your day, in your life.
Thanks, Gabriel, for that.
Right.
So I've got a free 5-step program as well.
Please tell our community, you have a free 5-step program.
Yeah, so it's a 5-step course. It's a 5-day course. It's called 5 Steps to Online Solopreneur Profit. So this is for the people who want to be people who are solopreneur and who are looking to earn online profit from their offline business. And basically, I'm starting the course. I'm restarting the course actually. So I've done this. This has already been done. So I'm doing my next run on next Monday actually. Monday. 9th to 13th of November. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So should I send it to you? And then there's a Facebook link. So yeah.
Let me grab that. Yeah.
Let
me display that as well. Absolutely. Yeah. So if anybody wants to take advantage of Thomas's, 5-day course, it's a 5-step solopreneur free course on Facebook and his community. Ask for it. Ask me for it. I have the link, and we will get you there. And Thomas is one of the most amazing entrepreneurs out there, helping people, get ahead in life with high value, high ethics. And if you can't find inner peace in yourself, then you got to go see Thomas, because he'll find it for you.
I'll guide you back to it, right? You have it. It's just something that you need to get back to, and we'll just, it takes time sometimes, and it's okay. We'll just be with you every step of the way. Thanks so much again, Gabriel. I do hope that it's been great value for everyone here.
I'm sure it has been, and thank you again. And I hope we can have another conversation in the future. We'll we pick another topic and we'll just go ahead and talk about it.
Yes, go ahead, man. I think this is like, I'm glad that to be here, and we probably even like, I think I was reading on Facebook, what's something that we can just talk for half an hour about? I think we pretty much got to that already. We can talk about anything.
We can talk about it. All right, so we'll see you on the next live.
Thank you.
And hang in there. Thank you so much, Thomas. See you soon.
Thanks, Gabriel. Take care now. Bye.